officially into our aftermath here. Um, that was a thing. That was a thing that happened. How you guys feeling?
That
Not
could have
bad.
went a lot worse.
To death by a troll.
Could have gotten beaten to death by a troll. Man, your
Yeah, very
connection
much so.
though. Your connection sounds like it's been beaten to death by a troll. Um. So yeah, no, there's a thing that I sort of picked up from a another guy that GM'd games that I played under. He liked to do at the end of every session a roses and thorns, where people say something they liked and something they didn't like. So I feel like at the end of each run, I'm gonna steal that tradition and put you guys on the spot, and then this will also be your opportunity if you want to ask anything mechanical as to how the run went where it did, anything thematic, or really just the idea of this series is so that we can be educational, so that we can get more people playing Shadowrun, and this is our chance to be educators. This also goes for those of you in the Twitch chat and those of you later on YouTube who want to put things into the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. So, as is tradition, if we want to start from left to right, I'm going to stare down the smolder. Be burned by his warm caress.
Oh god. So something we like, something we didn't like.
Yeah.
Um, I like that once we started going for the plan, everybody was like really. We kind of had that mind sync going on where we all kind of worked off each other in a really positive way, and I think that worked really well.
Okay.
That sort of deal, or like something more specifically run-ish, and not group-ish.
It can be whatever. It just has to be something that you necessarily liked or didn't like, or like just to talk about it. This is us coming together as group therapy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we worked like as a team. We kind of bounced off each other really well when it came to doing the stealing of the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like definitely I had a lot of part in this. The earlier stuff was a bit wishy-washy with what we should do and kind of went in circles. And that one's mostly me. But I feel like I should probably become a little less shitty at that.
Do you have anything you wish me to pull the veil back upon?
I have a what if question, but I feel like what ifs aren't that useful.
No, by all means, you can feel free to ask your what if.
So my plan, right, was basically to go in there and get my face beat to shit by the troll.
Okay.
In an attempt to be like, oh shit, what happened? That was no, that he wasn't with me. Like he was with me and then he wasn't with me.
Right.
Would that have had any chance of working, or would I have just gotten a shit ton of damage for no good reason?
Chances are he wouldn't have done anything to you. So shifters are animals. They are not people, so some of the intricacies of human civilization doesn't quite fit on them. And I hope that some of that came across. Which is kind of like why I made mention of the fact that they're a little protective of her, because, she's a dog.
Yeah.
So somebody trying to take advantage of her for nefarious and carnal reasons, it might be a little bit of a thing she doesn't get.
Okay. Other part, right? Because that part actually just didn't go through my head that well. Like, obviously, a very important part of the run, right? I was thinking more like when he gets back and notices that my other bodyguard and a girl went missing is more where my face beat sort of thing came in.
That is something that entirely could have happened. We kind of like faded to black, mostly in the the fact we've been on this run for about 3 sessions now, and we've been going tonight for about four and
Yeah.
a half hours. Like I very easily could have called the run there and had you guys figure out how you're getting out of this hotel, but it was your guys' first run. There is like if this was a more serious run, there is no way Charlie gets out of that building alive.
I could have jumped out a window.
Uh, I mean, technically, then I guess you're out of the building alive, but that sudden stop at the end
Yep.
is,
I was out of the building alive, though.
this is true. You would have also needed to find a window on a floor that you could actually open up, because all of like the higher
Hotels
floor
don't have
windows,
windows.
yeah, they don't really have windows that open up far for people to jump out of them on.
Oh, if it had gotten into more detail of it, I would have broken into someone's room and stolen their clothes and then tried to sneak out.
Yeah. But with the way the sixth world is covered in cameras and stuff, like there's cameras down every hallway, they would know exactly where you are.
True.
Security would be moving to stop you. Not
True.
to mention they would also like have control over the maglock, so when you're going down a hallway to try pulling on doors to get into one that's unlocked, you're going to find them all locked.
Hey, and why is it illegal to hook up with someone? I feel like it's illegal to kill me just for having sex with someone. It's not like I broke any laws.
So innocent people don't run is part of it. But you,
When a troll bursts in to beat your ass, you either fight them or run.
yeah. They would have asked some very hard questions, and when it turns out that the people that you were down there for a suspicious date with no longer show up and one of their employees is missing, they're not dumb.
Yeah, but that guy paid me some money to go on a date with him.
Right, and then we kind of go into the, all right, so what happens and why do they release you and all, like, there's a lot more complications there. Which is
Getting
just
caught
weird.
by the police is a whole mess of things that are probably really fun to play out. But considering the length of the session has been drawing on, I think Rob is opting to skip over it.
Yeah.
More so the fact that,
Specifically because it dooms your character.
well, that's part of it. I don't want to force you into a doomed situation on your first run, because I told you guys that your first run was going to be, I'm not going to rake you over the coals on it, but, you know, there were definitely smoother ways it could have played out at the end. But if
Okay,
you
you
have nothing
want-
else, Tilt, we can slide on down
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah.
That would put Bell up next.
Hmm.
We could skip over
You
it if
know-
you like.
You know what? Come back to me. I'll go last.
Sure.
I want.
Jurgen?
Well, I mean, I enjoyed the just the game in and of itself. Being immersed into a game that I've never played before was quite a bit of fun. I mean, feel like I've gotten a much better idea of Shadowrun, and I also feel like the group meshed pretty well together. We had opportunities to play off each other and create some humorous situations. As far as thorns go, there's a couple of things. One, it's really hard, and if I'm the only one, 100% my bad. But I have a hard time trying to figure out what's in character versus what's not. Because sometimes, like, well, when we start talking, I don't know if we're actually talking as our characters or if we're talking as the players. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else.
That just means
It does.
funny accents for everybody.
It does.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
All
funny
right,
accents for
yeah, I
everyone.
need to pick up a Seattle accent.
I mean, you don't need to. I like to make people do embarrassing things.
I can just put on the
It-
very
it
bad
helps.
Scottish accent again.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps, it's like this distinguish, in character from out of character, why not?
Well, I
For
mean,
the audience,
I'm terrible at accents, but like I just mean it like as far as like specifically tonight I tried to, because I realized that I hadn't been doing it either. I tried to talk only in character unless we were on break, or if I would, and before I would ask a question about mechanics, I would say out of character. I just need to know this.
That's something that can.
I-
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right,
I was
fine.
like, I realized that I completely forgot to like put on my character's voice this entire session, so I didn't even want to try mid-session. I'm like, oh crap, I'll just roll with it. Just roll with it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing, I was just kind of curious, is this a typical Shadowrun? Because if so, I kind of feel like there needs like I didn't like I mean I like I said, I've never played before. I did not realize that the Shadowrun was so socially heavy.
The short answer is maybe.
Okay.
There will be. I have done a run where it is very Mad Max race across the barrens of Seattle versus 6 other cars that are all covered in like spikes and weapons and stuff, and you're racing them. I have done runs where it is.
This
I
was just a
probably
very social heavy run because of what we picked to do.
um, that
What do
that
you
does
mean?
definitely influence. Like you wanted
What do
to.
you mean by what we picked to do?
When I talked to you guys, I asked like, well, what do you want to do for your first run? And you guys were like, well, we want to do an extraction.
Oh,
So
okay, gotcha.
And an
Uh,
extraction isn't like a kidnapping. A kidnapping is we could have gone in guns a-blazing, grabbed someone, and took them out.
yeah,
Right.
Extraction is more you use smooth, suave, debonair, double speak to get someone out.
potentially, like you
I
could have
didn't.
very.
I didn't really.
It depends.
I don't believe it is necessarily a smooth area. It's just get a person who doesn't want to leave or does want to leave out of an area that's guarded. It's basically like a specific person is the McMuffin, and you need to get them.
Yeah.
Everything else is left up to the dungeon master, and I have to say that the very 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 heavy social requirements of this run weren't particularly fulfilling for me because I'm going to jump in here again. I'm going to talk about the thorns that I didn't like.
Well,
There
let
weren't
me-
really
let me
many
finish with
other
him real
kind
quick.
of there weren't other many kind of challenges to overcome other than social interactions, and I felt like it left me and Zwern kind of I don't know on the sidelines.
All right, let me finish with his thing real quick when he was asking about other kinds of Shadowruns. For example, last week, you guys were down in the first floor, like more or less the lobby, in the bar. You guys had every opportunity right then to go gear up and then throw down and just throw her over your shoulder and get out of there. It was-
Right.
Like you guys had that option. You guys chose not to
Yeah.
do that option, which may have worked out because you only needed a couple of seconds of distraction to really grab her, because when you throw a person over a 10-foot tall troll's shoulder and run out of there, there's only so much that person can do to resist being lifted bodily from the ground and taken with you.
Right. Right.
You could have thrown down invisibility spells, you could have used some spirits, you could have made a giant ruckus of it and run out that street and get out of there. You could have potentially come up with some blackmail information and maybe blackmailed one of the guards into letting you up on the thing. From there, gone to the roof, had rented a helicopter, or that one's a little extreme for a first run since you guys didn't have a lot of money
Sure.
to do that. But it's a
Right,
thing that
right.
you could have done. If you had the levitate spell, you could have levitated somebody up to the roof, broken through that way, grabbed her, and gotten out that way.
All right,
Okay.
if I can address all of that, you made it the richest, nicest hotel in the center of the most defended district in the city.
Yes.
All of those sounded like suicide missions.
It was also during a high.
So when there's even more security, because a lot of people are going to be there. You basically just like tripled up on the security of this place, so it seemed like we really shouldn't try any kind of physical insertion. And additionally, I didn't feel like there was any kind of vectors to play off tactically. So like, how am I supposed to know where to set up for like a ranged engagement, or where's a good place to take cover? Like none of that I can understand or even look at from the canvassing. And when we tried to canvass like the lobby or any of this stuff, none of that information was present or available. So it wasn't really, none of that kind of information was given into our hands to really like analyze if that would be a good option, right? There's no way to know good escape route. It's like the only way like I pulled escape route was like, is there a back door? Yes. Okay, we walk to it. Like I didn't feel very satisfied with that answer, and I didn't feel very satisfied with my ability to plan on this run because there wasn't very much information to go off of. At least, like basic.
To be fair, to your point though, Kill, we actually got a lot of that information last week when you weren't able to be here.
Well, then I rest my case.
which is kind of on our, like, for the group, that's on our bad for not taking better notes for you, or it could be potentially on your fault for not listening to last week's session, right?
You guys did come in and say we're doing like a social plan, which is fine, and I'm not saying that we couldn't have done this. It's just from my perspective, there wasn't any kind of like when we asked for a layout of the hotel. Like there's a million, like I have literally like a million like hotel layouts right here. I pulled off of Pinterest. Takes 2 seconds to find one, and just having something like that available would have greatly helped me at least understand where we are, what's happening, and like how to play off the environment, because there was no tactile environmental feel. Secondly, I'm going to back up the whole speaking in character out of character. A lot of the conversations I was noting along this entire thing is like, I want to achieve this, and then no actual like audio. Like if you're not going to talk as your character, like what about the whole conversation when she gets into the car and like Grog tells her that we're Shadowrunners and we're going to take you to do this. It was just stated that that's a thing. I was actually really looking forward to that conversation and talking about
That
it
was
and like telling her things and going
call.
back. It was right, but it's the last example and the freshest one in my mind, so I'm using it. But there was a lot of I state this.
Right.
And then not a lot of NPC feedback, which were kind of make I don't know really how to, like, a lot of like, how does she feel right now? And then very little.
To be fair, I just feel like we all as a collective just wanted to get this run over with, because the last run he was actually giving details, like even a lot of small details that didn't need to be there were there.
It's just
And this
I
one
felt
really
like the
dragged
focus was-
on.
Yeah, it really did, and I understand that we wanted to get it over with, but there was just, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of lacking of things to play off of in this run.
So I don't do maps unless it's like super duper ridiculously important to the situation. Too often I've had people who get hung up on what is on them rather than with what makes sense. It's like, okay, there's an alleyway here, but I didn't draw a dumpster down the alleyway. And they're like, all right, well, I guess this means I can't take cover because there's nothing here. I'm like, well, it makes sense for a dumpster to be in the alleyway because that's normally what you would find down there.
It's where they keep dumpsters.
Right? They keep them out by the back door of the building so they can just throw their trash out. Maybe across the alleyway so that, you don't have that right in your face, that kind of thing. That's
right.
That is how I run games.
That's viable understanding, but then like if you're gonna describe areas, there, at least I feel like as a role player and not a new player, as someone, there's not enough tactileness to the descriptions of the areas for me to really play off. It's just a pool area, and then we had someone ask if there were tables. Like if you're gonna describe an area, there needs at least to be something to populate it, and I didn't feel like any of that, so it was very hard for me to imagine any of the areas we were in as anything other than generic, which didn't really bring Shadowrun to life for me.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that, but
if it's okay, Rob, can I interject real quick?
By all means, this is free floor here.
Okay, perfect. It sounds like maybe then this may not be the right group for you then, Kill, because as a new player, brand new to Shadowrun, being able to get an idea of the mechanics where I didn't need, because I, like you, I can Google the Ritz-Carlton in Berlin, so I had an idea of what I thought I was looking at, so I didn't need a big explanation. I was like, when I asked about the socialness, the social aspect, coming from a almost primarily D&D background, having an idea of where I'm the only player who wants to be social. And so I approached that when I created my character. So I actually appreciated the idea of it wasn't just him telling us what is or is not there. We also needed to be able to think to ourselves and say, hey, if I'm in a pool area, are there tables? If I'm in an alleyway, I should ask if there's a trash cans or a dumpster in the way.
I don't want to make it seems like, you're saying that I have to say everything has to be said in front of me, and that if he didn't say there was a dumpster, there wasn't a dumpster. I don't agree. I agree with Rob in that like people should be able to imagine and populate an area by themselves, but I felt that there was
I was just wondering if, because it seems like you're an experienced Shadowrun player, And so maybe since the rest of us aren't, I mean, I apologize, I don't mean to speak for the rest of the group, but I feel like that there were at least 2 other people besides myself who had never played Shadowrun before.
I've never played
having this
Shadowrun
run
before.
being a little bit more, I don't want to say walked out for me, but in some aspects a little bit more walked out to give me an idea of what I can flex as far as my creativity as a player, gives me a really good, like a better idea of the world for the future. So I felt like this was a really good milk run, like a level 1 run for me.
Okay. Well then,
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Okay,
I
well,
think
I'm
this
glad
was
you.
actually a little more complex than a milk run, but yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, that's true. I mean, a milk run would have literally been like some dude telling us to go down to the Stuffer Shack and pick him up a chicken dinner, but
Or just like, bopping gangers over the head because they're getting rowdy.
right. But like, yeah, having an extraction run, this kind of gives me an idea of, okay, so it's not D&D. I'm not just going to show up with my tank up front, throw grog down the middle while I'm standing in the back there casting lightning bolts and fireballs while he's
Yeah,
running
there's no
down.
marching order.
He just like picks up the table and charges down, blocking bullets while I'm back there slinging spells from behind. Like it's more nuanced than that. Which
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not looking for like a straight up combat engagement. I don't know. I didn't feel like there was a lot of characters to play off of. So like as a social engagement, it was a little hard. So I don't know. I just don't feel like there was a lot of meat on the bone, and I didn't like the description. But that's, and you're right. You brought up the fact that maybe this isn't the group for me. Very possible.
That is a decision that you are more than welcome to make whenever it is you wish to make it. But moving on down the line, Jurgen, did you have anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else. I mean, it's like you and I talked a little bit last week after our session about
Yeah, we talked about magic and
magic and
history
stuff like that. And yeah, you sent me like that warp spell list and stuff like that. And so, yeah, if there's any rework that is possible, definitely would love to be able to rework my spell.
You go crazy. You have, free reign to do more or less whatever you want to do with it.
Okay.
Just, for next run though, it'll be kind of like locked in on.
For sure.
Yeah. Unless there's something like tragic you missed, like, oh wait, I'm an idiot, I forgot, some sin information, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That is, kind of like I like to do. That goes for all of you guys. If you want to rebuild your characters, you will be able to do so, to tweak some things. Now that we've gotten some hands-on experience under our belts and that kind of thing. But yeah, we will move down to Charlie.
Let's see. The thing I liked. I really liked when I literally got 0 successes. It wasn't me that fucked up. It was just an NPC interposing in the situation. Like, no, you're not leaving. You're doing what you want. No, just she stands up and slaps me and leaves.
Right. Which are you talking about? The 0 successes when you went to go upstairs and the troll was like, "Nah, bro."
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to, because like, she is an animal, and you are a good specimen of male physicality.
Yeah.
So, when you're like, "Yo, you want to go bang?" She's like, "Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense to me." And it was like, all right, if I have her suddenly about face on being into you, it doesn't feel right and or natural. So it was like, he did get 0 successes, so I got to kind of go with what the dice said.
Something bad has to happen. It doesn't have to. It has to not go my way.
Not something.
But no, I really like that.
I'm glad that you enjoyed getting cock blocked, as it were.
Yeah. Let's see what I didn't like.
Or if you just have any questions, comments, concerns.
I think we should go for murdering someone in our next one. I don't really have any comments or concerns.
Well, that was going to be a question I come up with once we get through everybody's.
Yeah. No, but I have no questions or concerns.
Okay. Coming down the line is the big man, Grog. Which might be muted.
Yes, was very muted. I want to make sure I didn't get interrupted on anything, or I didn't interrupt you guys on anything. Pros, yeah, I liked how, when stuff was brought up, that's when it was filled out. Like, okay, does this place have a gym? Does this place have a pool? Something that we can use to interact with these guys. We never made it to where they were doing the venue, but then again, timeline wise, we did this before the venue, so it made a lot of sense. I liked getting together and actually, once we decided, hey, we need to go and do this, we all ended up doing it. Everybody seemed to have a part or what they were doing with it. So I thought that was really, really good. It really surprised me that I was able to actually pull her over and start talking to her and get her engaged when I had almost no skill in any of it. So on a side note, looks like that's what I'm going to end up having to spend some of my karma on, maybe to help build my character up.
And she was a horrible freak.
Well, yeah, there is that.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'll let you finish what you're gonna do. So,
well, like I said, I don't really have a con per se, but I do have a question of publicity, which you said me and like two others earned a point of. How is that actually going to, or where does that actually come into play?
So,
when we're trying to make deals with faces, right?
It could come into play a couple of different places. Let me find the actual. So under page 372, there's a reputation thing.
Okay.
And then it talks about notoriety, street cred, public awareness, and that kind of stuff. On the little public awareness table, if you have a public awareness of 0 to 3, you're unheard of outside of the shadow community. 4 to 6 is you are known to those who watch the shadows, conspiracy theorists, etc. 7 to 9 is people in the know, investigative journalists, law enforcement, government officials, and at 10 plus, they probably have action figures of you. So what's going to happen is if you're in a situation where, say, a cop is trying to pull you over for something at a checkpoint, if you have a bunch of public awareness, because public awareness isn't positive or negative by itself. Public awareness plus notoriety means that you are well known for doing bad things. Public awareness plus street cred is not necessarily positive, but it's definitely like okay, this guy is definitely like a shadow runner, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's kind of like a dice pool bonus to people who roll shadow community knowledges to know about you.
All right.
It is the kind of thing that over time can go away, but it kind of depends upon what you do. Like the more crazy things, like right here, if you had, for example,
inactivity, in other words,
not even necessarily inactivity, because you could frame other people for a job, you could, pay people off and just stop investigating stuff. There's other things you can do, but time will drag it down. Or specifically inactivity, I guess. Like, had you had a conversation with her when you were alone to arrange some other time to, because you had her buy into this. You're like, yo, here we go. We're doing some True Lies shit where, just Boris and Natasha or whatever. You could have changed how things were perceived so that when that guard comes back, he's not like, all right, there's one of the people I was looking, there's another one of the people I was looking, I don't see their bodyguard, and I don't see my girl. He's not an idiot. He knows that something was up and that you guys did it. At least one of you was definitely involved specifically in her kidnapping.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So that is kind of where that comes into play. It's not that big of a deal until you start getting more. And I didn't know, so I don't like to plan my runs too far in advance. I
Oh
knew
yeah, no,
that
that makes sense.
I knew that there was a target that needed extracted, and I knew why the Johnson. You're breathing real heavy into your phone, man.
Sorry.
All right. Nope, not all right. There it goes. Okay. The how is what I don't know, and to be honest, with this being your guys' first run, just about any plan you came up with was going to succeed, because it's not about challenging you guys at the moment. It's about establishing a dialogue between me and you guys about how you guys think, how you guys want to play things out, what you guys like and what you guys don't like, and all of that kind of hippy dippy bullshit. We need to establish that groundwork of trust on how things are going to work and expectations. So really, no matter what you came up with was going to be fine. The way that it played out with Jurgen being like, "Yo, you want to manufacture a reason to punch this asshole in the face?" And the way that Charlie was behaving,
It was perfect. I loved it.
it was great. So I'm like, all right, let's roll with it. When you were like, you know what, I'm going to go and try and engage her in conversation. And it's like, okay, had a little bit of a talk there. I had previously mentioned that they had some shadow thing happen before in one of the other side conversations, that I didn't have any plans on that kind of stuff happening until you guys started that conversation. It's like, okay, and then they talk about it's like, you're talking bodyguard to bodyguard, and that kind of work conversation comes up. So that's got to be like the single most exciting thing in her life, right? Like here she is, she goes to fashion school, she goes around the world, which is kind of exciting, but you're going around the world on a work thing. You're dealing with probably assholes. The Misty Day was going to be an enormous bitch if you guys went to try and interact with her. It was going to be great.
Oh man,
Um,
things we missed.
yeah.
I was honestly, if it wasn't going to take that long, I was hoping we were going to get to go back there. But
Well,
time.
you guys technically, if you guys had set up to do a slightly different extraction rather than just walk out of there tonight, I'd been more than happy to go into another session to see how that turned out, to give you the opportunity to embarrass Misty, and to continue to play to find out what happens. But we were already winding down, and it was already so close, and it was still like the first run. Because theoretically, I could have, stopped the run there. Those of you that got in the car and drove off, you guys are fine. I'm going to grab Charlie sometime during the week, and we're going to sit down for an hour or two, and we're going to find out how Charlie gets out of this building.
See how I die.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put in my notes. I can use scissors as a knife.
I mean,
Just so I remember.
Nice.
I mean,
I hope that answers some of what you were asking.
Yeah, it does.
Excellent. And then finally, Tara. Tara, I apologize.
Huh? What happened?
My dice, and
They hated you.
No,
with
no,
a
no.
passion.
I've been playing a bunch of one-offs to learn how to be a technomancer / decker / matrix support, and I am absolutely used to just failing at even trivial tasks in the matrix.
Hey, but
So
you were the
it's kind of-
linchpin in the plan.
I guess I was for a lot of things.
I mean, you got
So
them
let's
out
see
of
what
there.
I like. I
without
like
the-
this group's synergy. I know it's brought up over and over again, but I kind of like that about this group. Was not expecting the troll of all people to pick up the girl, and it goes on from there.
That was so fun. Oh, that was so good, though.
I thought it was so perfect.
Yeah, that was out of left field. I'm like, wait, he's really gonna do this? Oh my god, let's see, and then it happened.
As I've said a couple of times, like to play to find out what happens, and that told a really good story.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys were also all seeing like, oh god, what happens? Did you have anything you wanted to mechanics, pull back the veil, questions, comments, concerns?
Did that place ever have a security spider, or were you just going easy on me?
There was probably a spider in there, but some of it was going easy on you, and some of it was like the first time you went in and you alerted the host, you were out really quickly. The second time, you didn't alert the host, like your sprite did it. Um, so sprites are sprites are weird because they don't show up in the matrix properly unless you are um, also a technomancer.
Yeah.
So
Their personas show, but basically, if you try to investigate any further, they appear to be junk code.
exactly. So since the only attack action was done by the sprite, I didn't have him start digging for you
Ah, all right.
because he was there, but you didn't do anything um, illegal.
I didn't make any attack actions, basically.
And some of it was time, length of run, and
Yeah.
first run.
Because usually the Matrix is more, reactive and life, and it's DMs usually have fun explaining how the host looks, yada yada.
I
It's a whole sub adventure.
Yeah, see, the Matrix already takes a long time, so I don't always
I
necessarily feel the
know.
need to do
That's
that.
why I'm like,
Like,
if
I'll
nobody
definitely
else
give
is in
you
on
a,
it, it's just you.
I'll
It's
definitely give
kind
you a
of,
brief overview of what things look like. Like the last session we talked about it, where it's like, he looks like a bellhop, little hat, vest, no face.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
don't mind. This is like hacking this game. Oh, go on.
no, like I just don't. This is why I don't take two Matrix support, is because it takes too goddamn long. So that's the reasoning why.
Yeah. See, I have no thorns to really throw in. I think Bell drew in enough for everybody. So,
Sure. Um, I'll give Twitch chat a chance to pipe up with stuff because I know there were some people there that had at least a couple of new players. I think at least one that popped up in there. Um, I had a lot of fun with this, guys. I liked how it kind of turned out at the end in a very like fucking Jurgen, man, coming out of nowhere with, yo, let's set Charlie up to get punched. That was so good. It's, and I'm looking
That
at
was
it,
pure comedy.
I'm like, yeah, no, that's something this guy would be in on. Because like it was like, all right, there's no social test roll really heated because you're offering the guy something he wants already. You know.
Nice. I was hoping I read that right.
Yeah, it's being a face has a lot to do with manipulating the situation, and you had a good read on that situation without, to my enjoyment, without any rolling dice. Like, you're like, all right, this is what the situation is. This is my read on it, and I'm going to go with it. And you didn't. That tells me that you were paying attention, and that my messages were getting across in what was kind of going on.
Cool.
Which gives me smiles and thumbs up.
I do like how everyone in this group except the face is a very good face.
I'm a
you're an
terrible
incredibly
face.
good
I'm a
face.
terrible face.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you are armed with the smolder. You got it. You're done.
Yeah, dude, yeah. No, you were
mean,
good.
I felt like my dice rolls carried me. Like, I don't feel like I have to give it to Jared there. I have to give it to Jurgen. Like, you read that situation in a way I never would have thought. And
Yeah, it was just one of those, like, Charlie was like, the way he kept playing, I kept thinking, I was like, man, I wish this was a video so I could get a still and put him on punchable faces. So I feel like that's what he's doing.
I was really curious to see what was going to happen when they came down for that date, because I knew off the top of my head there's a bodyguard coming, because every time they've been out of their area, there's been security with them, because they are valuable members of this event and Evo's corporate plan here. I kind of decided, I'm like, you know what, he destroyed that smolder roll, and it just kind of worked out perfectly that it was the shifter that came down in addition. Because like it made more sense for her to just be like, oh yeah, no, that guy was, masculine. I'm in. And then seeing how like every time Charlie went to do something to talk to the target, it just blow up in his face.
Yep.
It was great. And then like if it had been any of the other women,
I'd have been screwed.
Yeah.
Straight up. They got up and slapped me in the face and left.
Yeah. But like she's not normal? Like, yeah, oh yeah, he sucks at swimming. Look at him almost drown. But
hey, dogs doggy paddle. They wouldn't think anything weird was weird with that.
Yeah, like so. I don't know. It was just really great the way it came out, and then it was like, I don't want to punish Grog for not having social skills and put it when he threw himself into a social situation like that, and he was willing to spend like. Sometimes when you spend edge on things, it tells me that you find this action important to your character. And he could have very easily just let that one social dice go and just be like, yeah, whatever, it's not actually going to work out. But he's like, you know what, I'm gonna spend edge on it. And he got a hit out of it. So like, maybe in some other situations I may have asked for more hits from other characters. But given the situation where she's not being paid attention to anyway, and it's like, well, he has some food. So I guess I could go, have a drink, and then like he spent edge on it. So it's like, okay, this is an action that he deems as important. So let's see where this goes. And it went beautifully. I will totally come up with some like connection loyalty stats for her, and you will be able to add her and probably Glenn as a contact. Granted, I don't think Glenn's going to do you a whole lot of good because he's a maintenance guy at the Ritz. But
I could find a use.
Who knows? He might come up. He might be useful. It's interesting where you can find people sometimes.
We might have to blackmail someone at some point, and he has access to rooms and things.
Maybe.
And we get something like that. I mean, you can come up.
So, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, now's the time, or else we can call this to a close.
I have only one question. For karma,
Can we spend it in game to get +2 dice for stuff?
No. That's a.
Damn it. Just checking. Okay. Nope, that's my only question then.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then do we get? How does that work? Because karma is for a mage, it's like super important for me because it's like the only way I get new spells. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and is there a way to spend Nuyen on karma? Can I buy it?
So
or something?
there is an optional rule that I like to use that was brought up in Shadowrun missions. It's called working for the man or working for the people. I may have talked about this when we got everything started back in the beginning days. It's kind of crazy that we've been doing this for like a month now, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Almost, yeah.
It allows you to swap 2,000 Nuyen for 1 karma or 1 karma for 2,000 Nuyen.
Okay.
With some limitation, up to 5 times per run, or up to the run reward. So if I only pay you 3 karma, you can only change 3 karma into Nuyen. You can't change any of your backstocked karma.
And how much did we get paid for this run?
12, I think.
12,000 plus 10 karma.
All right.
To get you guys started on a couple of things, maybe get a second point of edge for certain characters.
Yeah, I can't get any more.
So then the question I guess I have is, what kind of run do you guys want to do next? Somebody mentioned murder earlier.
Yeah, I just mentioned that because I'm an assassin, so that's what I'm good at.
I mean, you're a lady assassin. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say lady assassin. It was technically a dog, so bitches love me, but that's about it.
Wow. We went there, people. We went there.
I would definitely put my hat in for something a bit more action oriented because I felt like this was very my domain, and I felt like I talked a lot because I mean it was my domain because it was social, but I feel like I would like it to be the actiony people's domain next run, and I can just support them like they supported me.
Look at that teamwork shit.
I know. Look
Yeah.
at that.
I just want everyone to have fun and variety.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun during this one, and I mean,
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
I
to
had
be
a little
honest,
combat involved with mine, but I wasn't going to try and fight a troll as a human.
Dude,
even though I'm a
taking
big
physical
tank,
that-
I think I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a good time.
You guys make me all warm and fuzzy.
I think we're making
I-
each other all warm and fuzzy. I
Okay.
think it's just too early in the morning now.
Probably. Oh, yeah, it's already 1 in the morning. I forgot. Half you guys are nocturnal.
It's only 10 o'clock
People
for
are
me.
probably tired
Let's
by
say
now.
it's only 11 where I'm at, so
Yeah, it's like
Alright.
1 something here. So you guys, again, you guys
It's
are
1 in the
lucky
morning.
that I don't have to be at work until 11 o'clock tomorrow.
okay. I
I don't-
apologize. I need clarification on the reward. Was that 12K each and
Yes.
10 karma each?
100% yes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I told you your first
Um,
run was going to be worth good money.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Alright,
Are
so
we allowed to like initiate / submerge?
if you have 13 karma.
Well, I guess
What does that
6,000
mean?
is going away.
We can talk about that later because that's a little bit more.
Okay.
involved.
That's a whole
Gotcha.
other. Yeah, that's
We'll talk about like don't
mission type.
don't spend any of your rewards from this run after you rebuild your character, and then we'll talk about
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not rebuilding my character at all.
No, it was specifically for Jurgen.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm rebuilding.
contemplating taking either animal handle animal or con because I dealt with an animal this time.
I mean, you can take both.
You
if
definitely
have enough
handled
karma.
her.
Ugh.
Oh. Right. Okay, because I'm a complete dumbass, right?
Mhm.
We got the bonus for 8 a.m. on Sunday, right? And that was at the beginning of the run. That was given to us as a front.
Yes, as 2,000 up front, and then
2,000.
she said she'd still pay us the full 12K if we got her
Yeah.
there by 8 a.m.
Okay, because according to my Nyan sheet, I never took that initial 2K because I'm a dumbass.
Oh, I forgot
And
we had
that
Yeah,
that.
we
fun.
definitely got her there before Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Man, now I have tickets to a thing that are totally useless.
I thought you were still going on that date. Oh no, those tickets.
that's me.
I mean, I could take Anna on that date technically.
I mean, she's already going to be there. She's a model.
Oh, maybe I'll go anyway. I don't know she was a dog.
It's true.
Free Ritz room. That's what that bonus gave me. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
All right then.
Just so I'm clarified.
Thank you guys
Cool.
for hanging around. I'll come up with something a little bit more violent for next week.
Sweet.
All right.
Good
Hey, thanks
session.
a lot,
Good
Rob. I
run.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
Rob,
super fun.
definitely.
Thanks,
Not a
Rob.
problem,
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking time. It was cool.
Have a good night.
Yeah, everyone
later.
have a good night. See ya.
See ya.